Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about a simple phrase with a powerful message. Do not let it a call to action, a challenge, a reminder that you have control over your destiny. But too often we let things slip. We let fear creep in, we let doubt cloud our vision, and we let setbacks define who we are. Fear, it's a small word, but it has a grip strong enough to keep dreams locked away, potential untapped, and lives lived in the shadows. Fear whispers to you when you're about to take that leap. It's that voice in your head telling you, what if you fail? Or you're not ready for this, but here's the reality. Fear is a natural part of being human. It's a survival instinct that's wired deep within us, a voice that says, play it safe, stay where it's comfortable. But comfort zones are where dreams go to die. When you allow fear to control you, it shapes your decisions, your actions, and eventually your life. It becomes a quiet puppeteer, pulling the strings and keeping you from exploring new possibilities. You avoid that job opportunity because you fear rejection. You don't speak up because you fear criticism. You hold back from chasing that goal because you fear the unknown. But ask yourself, what has fear ever given you? Has it ever rewarded you with success? Has it ever handed you a better life? No. All fear gives you is regret and the pain of wondering what could have been. Now, I'm not saying you can completely eliminate fear. No, it will always be there, sitting in the back of your mind, ready to pounce, but you don't have to let it steer the wheel. You can choose to acknowledge it, to recognize that it's there, but not let it dictate your actions. That's the key to understand that fear is just a thought, not a fact. It's a feeling, not your fate. Think about all the times in history when people dared to push past fear. The explorers who discovered new lands, the inventors who changed the world, the artists who broke the rules, they all faced fear. They all heard that voice saying, don't do it, it's too risky, but they did it anyway, because they knew that greatness lives on the other side of fear. When you refuse to let fear control you, a new world opens up. It's a world where you give yourself permission to fail because you know that failure is not the end, it's a lesson. You start to see that fear is just a barrier, and barriers are meant to be broken. And in breaking them, you build resilience. You learn that you're stronger than you thought, that you can handle more than you ever believed. So what happens when you stop letting fear control you? You start making decisions that align with your true potential. You take risks that you never thought you'd take, and you discover parts of yourself that you never knew existed. You realize that fear doesn't have to be your enemy, it can be your greatest teacher, showing you the areas where you have room to grow. It challenges you to become better, to step into the person you were always meant to be. Imagine how your life would change if you stopped letting fear call the shots. Imagine waking up in the morning and deciding to go after that dream, even though it terrifies you. Imagine saying yes to opportunities that push you out of your comfort zone. Imagine standing tall in the face of uncertainty, knowing that even if you stumble, you'll find your balance again. The truth is, fear is always going to be there, but you can choose whether it stands in front of you, blocking your path, or behind you, pushing you forward. And when you make that choice, you'll find that the world is a much bigger place than you ever imagined. It's not about living without fear, it's about living beyond it. In a world filled with noise and opinions, it's easy to lose sight of your own value. From a young age, we're taught to seek validation from others, to get approval from teachers, friends, parents, colleagues. We let their words, their opinions, and their judgments shape how we see ourselves. But here's the reality: no one can define your worth but you. When you allow others to define your worth, you hand over the keys to your own happiness. You let their words carry more weight than your own. You start measuring your success based on their standards, and when you don't meet those standards, you feel like you've fallen short. It's a trap, a cycle that keeps you feeling inadequate, because no matter how much you try, you will never be able to satisfy everyone. Someone will always have something to say, some criticism, some reason why you're not enough. And if you let those voices dictate your sense of self, you'll always feel like you're not measuring up. Your worth isn't determined by someone's opinion of you, and it certainly isn't found in how many likes you get on social media, how popular you are, or how well you fit into the boxes that people put you in. True worth comes from knowing who you are, understanding your strengths, and embracing your imperfections. It's about recognizing that your value is not tied to external things. It's not about what you have or what you've accomplished. It's about your character, your heart, and the unique qualities that make you who you are. Diamonds and gold don't lose their value just because someone fails to recognize their worth. The same goes for you. Just because someone else doesn't see your potential, doesn't appreciate your efforts, or doesn't understand your journey, that doesn't make you any less valuable. You are inherently worthy, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Allowing others to define your worth is like letting them hold a mirror up to you, but it's a mirror that's cracked and distorted by their own insecurities, their own experiences, their own limited perspective. They see a version of you, but it's not the whole picture. And if you let their view become your reality, you're living a life that's less than what you deserve. When you take back control over your self-worth, you stop needing validation to feel good about yourself. You start setting your own standards, creating your own measures of success, and valuing the things that matter to you. It means that when someone criticizes you, you can listen, you can learn, but you don't have to internalize it. Their words no longer have the power to make you feel small because you've already decided that you are enough. It's not about being arrogant or dismissing everyone's feedback. It's about knowing that feedback is just that feedback. It's not a verdict on your character or your abilities. When you understand this, you gain the freedom to live authentically, to be true to yourself without constantly worrying about who you're pleasing or who you're disappointing. When you don't let others define your worth, you start to attract people who appreciate the real you, not the version that's shaped to fit their expectations. You find yourself surrounded by those who see your value without needing to be convinced of it. It's a kind of freedom that comes from within, a sense of peace that no amount of external validation can provide. Life becomes richer, more fulfilling when you realize that your worth is not a negotiation. It's not up for debate, not something that can be given or taken away by someone else. It's a constant, a foundation that holds steady even when life gets tough, when you face criticism or when you encounter rejection. It's the belief that no matter what happens, you are valuable just as you are. And that value comes from within, not from any external source. You'll find that when you hold on to your sense of worth, you become more resilient. Criticism doesn't break you, failure doesn't shake you, and the opinions of others don't sway you. You become grounded in a sense of self that is unwavering, because you know that no one else can see your journey the way you do. No one else understands the battles you've fought, the obstacles you've overcome, and the potential that lies within you. So do not let others define your worth, because the moment you do, you give them the power to shape your story. And the only person who should be writing your story is you. Setbacks. They're the hurdles that life throws at us when we least expect them. They come in many forms: missed opportunities, failed attempts, unexpected losses. They sting, they frustrate, and they can make you question whether you're on the right path. But here's the truth about setbacks: they are not the end of the story. They're just chapters in a larger narrative, a narrative that you have the power to shape. When you face a setback, it's easy to feel defeated, to feel like all the effort you put in was for nothing. You might think that your progress has been erased, that your dreams have slipped further out of reach. But a setback isn't a stop sign, it's a redirection. It's life's way of testing your resilience, your determination, your willingness to push forward, even when the road gets rough. Think about any journey worth taking. None of them come without obstacles. A mountaineer faces avalanches, a sailor battles storms, and a runner encounters steep hills. Yet they all keep moving forward, not because they're immune to struggle, but because they understand that the struggle is part of the process. Setbacks are not proof that you're failing, they're proof that you're trying, that you're challenging yourself, that you're moving beyond your comfort zone. When you let setbacks hold you back, you allow them to become more than they are. They become a roadblock, a reason to quit, a justification for giving up on yourself. But the reality is, setbacks are not the enemy, they're teachers. They show you what doesn't work so that you can find what does. They reveal your weaknesses so you can transform them into strengths. They push you to dig deeper, to look within, and to find the courage to try again. There's a lesson in every setback if you're willing to see it. When you fall, you learn how to pick yourself up. When you fail, you discover how to approach the problem differently next time. Each time you face a setback, you're given a chance to build resilience, to develop a mindset that refuses to be broken. It's not about avoiding failure, it's about using failure as fuel. Remember, some of the greatest success stories were born out of setbacks. The inventor whose idea failed 100 times before it succeeded, the entrepreneur who faced bankruptcy before building an empire, the athlete who lost every game before finally winning the championship. These people didn't let their setbacks define them, they let their response to setbacks define them. They understood that every time they were knocked down, they had a choice: stay down or get back up stronger. When you refuse to let setbacks hold you back, you start to see them for what they truly are: temporary. They may slow you down, but they can't stop you unless you let them. They can make the journey harder, but they can also make you tougher, more determined, more focused. They give you the opportunity to pause, reflect, and recalibrate your approach. You also begin to realize that setbacks don't erase your progress, they refine it. They force you to adapt, to think creatively, to find new ways to achieve your goals. And often the path that you end up on after a setback is one that you might not have seen before. It might be a detour, but it could lead you to an even greater destination than the one you originally imagined. Setbacks have a way of expanding your perspective, of making you see possibilities that you might have overlooked in your initial plans. Think of a seed buried in the soil. It faces the weight of the earth pressing down on it, the darkness that surrounds it, but it uses that pressure, that struggle, to push upward, to break through the soil, and eventually to grow into something strong and vibrant. Your journey is no different. The setbacks you face are not meant to bury you, they're meant to push you to grow. It's natural to feel disappointed when things don't go as planned, when your hard work doesn't immediately pay off, when the path gets steeper instead of smoother. But disappointment is just a feeling, not a fact. It's a momentary reaction, not a permanent reality. When you choose not to let setbacks hold you back, you make a decision to turn disappointment into determination. You take the power away from the setback and put it back where it belongs, in your hands. You start to realize that the setback isn't the final word. It's just a pause, a chance to catch your breath, a moment to reconsider your strategy. It's an opportunity to remind yourself why you started in the first place, to remember the passion that drove you and the vision that pulled you forward. And sometimes that reminder is exactly what you need to regain your strength and keep going. When you refuse to let setbacks hold you back, you're telling life that you won't be defined by your struggles, but by how you overcome them. You're telling yourself that you're capable of more than you thought, that you have the resilience to rise even when things fall apart. You're proving that a temporary setback doesn't stand a chance against a mind that's determined to succeed. So when life knocks you down, when plans fall apart, when the door closes, don't see it as the end. See it as a chance to regroup, to reassess, to find a new way forward. Because a setback is only as powerful as the fear you let it instill in you. Refuse to let it hold you back, and you'll find that every setback is just a setup for a greater comeback. Opportunities are the hidden gems of life, but they don't always present themselves in obvious ways. They often come wrapped in challenges disguised as risks, or hidden within moments that seem unimportant. The reality is, the greatest opportunities don't wait around forever. They have a way of slipping through our fingers if we're not attentive. If we're not attentive, if we're not ready to reach out and grab them. Many of us miss opportunities because we're waiting for the perfect moment. We wait until we feel completely ready, until every condition is just right, until all the stars align. But perfection is a myth, and waiting for it means letting time slip away. The best opportunities rarely arrive with a guarantee of success. They come with uncertainty, with the potential for failure, but also with the promise of growth, change, and the chance to become more than you are today. If you're constantly waiting for the perfect time, you may find yourself waiting forever. When you don't seize opportunities, you run the risk of living a life of what ifs. What if you had taken that chance? What if you had said yes when everyone else said no? What if you had stepped out of your comfort zone and discovered something incredible on the other side? The regret of a missed opportunity can linger far longer than the fear of trying and failing. It's the kind of regret that stays with you, that whispers to you when you see others who did take that leap and are now living the life you once dreamed of. Opportunities often come knocking softly. They might appear as a job offer that you feel underqualified for, a chance to move to a new city, or an invitation to collaborate on a project that feels a little outside your expertise. They don't always come with flashing lights and certainty. And that's the challenge, recognizing them when they're still in their raw, unpolished form. Being able to see the potential in the situation requires courage and the willingness to step into the unknown. Some of the most life-changing moments begin with a simple decision to say yes to an opportunity, even when it's daunting. Think about the times you took a chance. Maybe it was applying for a position you thought you wouldn't get, or traveling somewhere unfamiliar, or investing in a relationship that seemed uncertain. Even if things didn't go exactly as planned, you likely learned something valuable along the way. You grew, you stretched, you discovered new parts of yourself. That's what opportunities do. They expand your horizons and show you that you're capable of more than you thought. Opportunities don't always wait until you feel ready because they're not designed to fit neatly into your plans. They come when they come, and part of living a fulfilling life is learning to recognize them even when they seem inconvenient. Sometimes the door to a better future swings open at the most unexpected times, and if you hesitate too long, it might close again before you have the chance to walk through it. When you let opportunities pass you by, you miss out on the chance to grow, to change, to step into a new version of yourself. Life isn't about staying where you're comfortable. It's about embracing the unknown and letting it transform you. It's about understanding that each opportunity is a seed, and while not every seed will grow into a towering tree, everyone has the potential to take root and bloom into something beautiful. But you have to be willing to plant that seed, to nurture it, and to see where it can take you. Opportunities often require sacrifice too. They ask you to give up the comfort of the known for the uncertainty of the new. They may require you to leave behind what feels safe and familiar. But in that sacrifice, in that willingness to trade the immediate comfort for long-term reward, you find the path to a richer, more meaningful life. You discover strengths you never knew you had, resilience you didn't realize you possessed, and a passion that can only be ignited by taking a risk. It's also important to remember that not all opportunities come with a big label announcing their importance. Some of them are quiet, subtle, like a chance encounter with a mentor, or a casual conversation that sparks a new idea, or an invitation to join a project that seems small at first, but eventually changes the course of your career. These moments can be easy to overlook if you're not paying attention, if you're too busy with the routine of everyday life to notice that something special is unfolding right in front of you. And here's the thing, opportunities are not just about personal gain or success. They're about making an impact, about contributing to something bigger than yourself. When you take an opportunity, you open the door not only for yourself, but for others. You might inspire someone who's watching you to take their own leap of faith. You might create something that benefits your community, your family, or even people you've never met. Your willingness to embrace opportunities can ripple outwards in ways you might never fully see or understand. Ultimately, opportunities are a reminder that life is constantly evolving, and so are you. You are not the same person you were a year ago, and you won't be the same person a year from now. Each opportunity you take is a chance to shape that evolution, to steer it in a direction that aligns with your dreams, your values, and your vision for the future. It's a chance to create a life that you're proud of, one that you'll look back on without regrets about the things you didn't try. So when opportunity knocks, don't let the fear of the unknown keep you from answering the door. Recognize that inside every opportunity is the potential for something extraordinary, something that could change the course of your life. And sometimes all it takes is the courage to take that first step, to say yes, to believe that whatever lies ahead is worth discovering. Doubt, it's that quiet voice that creeps in when you're on the edge of something great. It's the hesitation that arises when you're about to take a bold step forward, the nagging question that whispers, what if you're not good enough? Doubt has a way of making you second guess your own abilities, your dreams, and your potential. But if you let doubt take the wheel, it won't just slow you down, it will bring your progress to a grinding halt. It will convince you that the mountains in front of you are too high to climb and that the obstacles are too big to overcome. Doubt is a natural feeling, and in small doses it can keep you grounded, helping you prepare for challenges and think critically. But when it's allowed to take over, it becomes a barrier standing between you and the success you're striving for. It drains your energy, saps your motivation, and makes you question the very reasons you started on this path in the first place. It turns possibilities into uncertainties and dreams into distant fantasies. When doubt is in control, it can make you forget the progress you've already made. It blinds you to your strengths and magnifies your weaknesses. It shifts your focus from the strides you've taken to the steps you have yet to take. Suddenly, the risks seem bigger, the challenges feel insurmountable, and the path ahead looks longer than before. But doubt only has as much power as you give it. If you let it linger too long, it will eat away at your confidence, your vision, and your determination. The truth is, every person who has ever achieved something meaningful has faced doubt. The difference is that they didn't let that doubt dictate their actions. They felt it, they acknowledged it, and then they moved forward anyway. They understood that doubt is just a feeling, not a fact. It's a hurdle, not a wall. They realize that doubt doesn't mean they aren't capable. It just means they're doing something that matters to them. Something that stretches their limits and takes them into uncharted territory. Think about all the times you've let doubt stop you. Maybe you didn't apply for that job because you thought you wouldn't get it. Maybe you didn't start that project because you worried it wouldn't turn out perfect. Maybe you held back from sharing your ideas because you feared they'd be rejected. Every time you let doubt make your decisions for you, you're giving up a piece of your potential. You're letting that voice in your head become louder than the voice of your dreams. But what if, instead of letting doubt diminish your drive, you used it as fuel? What if, every time you felt doubt creeping in, you took it as a sign that you're on the brink of growth, of pushing beyond your limits? Doubt can be a signal that you're stepping into new territory, that you're challenging yourself, that you're daring to try something that stretches you. And that's a good thing. It means you're not settling for what's easy or comfortable. It means you're reaching for more. Your drive is what keeps you going, even when the path is difficult, even when progress is slow, even when success feels far away. It's the fire inside you that pushes you to wake up each day and try again, to put in the work, even when the results aren't immediately visible. But doubt, if you let it, can become like a bucket of water trying to douse that fire. It cools your passion, weakens your resolve, and makes you question whether the effort is worth it. Doubt often comes from fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough. It's rooted in a desire for certainty, a need to know that everything will work out perfectly before you even begin. But the truth is, certainty is a luxury that life doesn't often provide. If you wait for the moment when doubt completely disappears, you'll be waiting forever. Progress doesn't come from certainty, it comes from courage, the courage to move forward even when doubt is present, even when you can't see the entire path ahead. Imagine what you could achieve if you didn't allow doubt to hold you back. Think of all the dreams you chase, the risks you take, the ideas you bring to life. Your drive is what got you to this point. It's what pushed you to dream big in the first place, to set goals that others might have thought were impossible. It's what keeps you up late working on that vision, what gets you up early to keep pursuing it. Doubt might tell you that you can't do it, but your drive is there to remind you why you can. Doubt can make your journey feel like a lonely one, like you're the only one struggling to find your way. But you're not alone. Everyone who's ever dared to strive for something bigger has felt that same uncertainty. The difference is in how you respond to it. Do you let it stop you, or do you use it as a reminder of how much this goal means to you?